I'm not a lawyer, but let's get into the details of this ruling from Judge McAfee regarding Fani Willis and the Trump RICO case and this conflict of interest or appearance of a conflict of interest. Off top, Judge McAfee says that the defendants, meaning the Trump 18, have failed to prove that Fani Willis had an actual conflict of interest in this case based on her personal relationship and trips with Nathan Wade. However, he notes there is a significant appearance of impropriety based on the current prosecution team, and that must be fixed through either one of two options. Either Nathan Wade goes or Fani Willis and her entire office goes. Those are the options. The judge then breaks down his ruling into a couple sections. The first section is, was there an actual conflict of interest? And as a reminder, the defense had 3 claims as to why they felt there was a conflict of interest. Number 1, they said that Fani's motivation or reason for prosecuting this case was so that she could hire her romantic partner, Nathan Wade, and then benefit financially from him being on the case. The second claim was that she actually did benefit from prosecuting the case, which was in the form of gifts, trips, and dinners that Nathan Wade provided to her. And then the third claim was that Fani was prolonging the case so that she could continue to financially benefit from having Nathan on the case. The longer it takes, the more money he makes, and the more gifts she gets, is what they were saying. So in response to all of this, Judge McAfee says that Fani makes over $200,000 a year without any indication of excessive expenses or debts. That tax lien, that wasn't enough. So he doesn't believe that she was motivated to file these charges just so that she could benefit financially through hiring Nathan Wade. Secondly, Judge McAfee says that while it was unusual and concerning that Fani said all of her repayments to Nathan was done in the form of cash and that there's no way to prove that she actually paid him back in cash, he says there's also no way to prove that she didn't. Additionally, the judge says that Fani's claim that sometimes she paid for stuff and sometimes Nathan paid for stuff was backed up by the 2 plane tickets to Miami that she did indeed pay for. And then finally, the judge says that Fani has been doing everything she can to push this case along, not prolong it. She was originally trying to go to trial 6 months after she indicted it. So he determines that there is no actual conflict of interest for Fani. Now, the next section is the appearance of impropriety. And remember, this claim was that even if there isn't a real conflict, which the judge just said there isn't one, Fani should be removed if it appears to be one. And that becomes a problem for Fani Willis. Judge McAfee defines appearance of impropriety as conduct or status that would lead a reasonable person to think that the actor is behaving or will be inclined to behave inappropriately or wrongful. Judge McAfee goes on to say that if reasonable people, reasonable being the operative word here, perceive there to be a conflict, even if there isn't one, and nothing is done about it, it will begin to threaten the public's trust and belief in the legal system. And if that happens continuously, well, it could be a problem. I'm gonna leave that where it's at because this could become a different video really fast. And so the judge says that what happened at the hearing did indeed establish that this situation does have the appearance of impropriety. Judge McAfee says that even if the relationship began after Wade's initial hiring on this case, Fani Willis chose to continue supervising and paying Nathan Wade while maintaining that relationship. She further allowed the regular and loose exchange of money between the two of them without any exact or verifiable measure of reconciliation. This lack of a confirmed financial split creates the possibility and the appearance that the district attorney benefited from a contract whose award lay solely within her purview and policing. That goes directly to the appearance of impropriety. Judge McAfee also calls out that Nathan's patently unpersuasive explanation for what he said in his divorce docs indicates a willingness on his part to wrongly conceal his relationship with Fani. This is about Nathan saying in his divorce docs as recent as January 2024 that he has not been involved with anyone romantically outside of his wife from the time they got married until now. Like now. Nathan said in his eyes, they stopped being married in 2015. So him saying he hasn't been with anyone at all is because in his mind, they haven't been married for a long time. Judge McAfee says, not so fast. That's not what the question asked you. Judge McAfee then gets into the defense's claim that the relationship started prior to 2022 and the credibility of those 2 witnesses who got on the stand. Ruling says that the court finds itself unable to place any stock in the testimony of Terrence Bradley. His inconsistencies, demeanor, and generally non-responsive answers left far too brittle a foundation upon which to build any conclusions. Bradley's impeachment by text message did not establish the basis for which he claimed such sweeping knowledge of Wade's personal affairs. In addition, while the testimony of Robin Yurdy raised doubts about the state's assertions, it ultimately lacked context and detail. Neither side was able to conclusively establish by a preponderance of the evidence when the romantic relationship actually started. So, the judge says that ultimately dismissal of the indictment is not appropriate, and case law provides that he can consider alternate solutions to fixing this appearance of impropriety. So the choices are: the district attorney may choose to step aside along with the whole of her office and refer the prosecution to the prosecuting attorney's counsel for reassignment, or Nathan Wade can withdraw, allowing the district attorney, the defendants, and the public to move forward without his presence or remuneration, distracting from and potentially compromising the merits of this case. One more thing before I go. The judge has a section where he addresses the comments that Fani Willis made at church that day. Judge McAfee says that while the speech did not cross the line to the point where the defendants have been denied the right to a fair trial, he does say that it was still legally improper. He goes on to say that providing this type of public comment creates dangerous waters for the district attorney to wade further into, and the time may have come where she would have been ordered to stop mentioning this case in public altogether. So, what y'all think? Bye-bye Nathan Wade or bye-bye Fani Willis? Let me know.
Sorry to this man.